Hi, everybody. It's Jeffrey from Bright Color. And I have a little message. I don't know where the message is going, but okay, let me begin. That's always a good idea. So on Halloween, the landlord contacted me and he said, "Oh, I have to come over." And I said, "Okay." And I figured he's just picking up the contract, and he did. I gave him the contract. I have copies. And, I signed a contract for a year's lease. Oh, well, we decided that it's like it doesn't really matter. So I had this whole reaction because, I'm really intuitive and I'm really empathic. So a lot of times, like, that's my reality. It's like how I feel, which is fine. It's great for readings, it's great for painting, but it's not great for everything. And it was like I took it all on, and it's like, oh, I have to look for a new place, and oh my God, and it's. And then I had a conversation with my friend last night. He goes, "You have a contract." It's like, yeah, well, they think that maybe they can get more money or they want to move in, and they keep on changing their mind back and forth. But I have a contract, so okay, so I'll have to be out by the end of the year. But it means I have a year. Doesn't mean like I have to move in 2 weeks. And I'd taken all that on. It was like crazy making, crazy making. And then I realized, or my friend helped me realize, it's like, what you feel is not always the reality. Sometimes you're like, somebody doesn't get back to you, and you're like, they don't like me anymore, and it's all over. And it's like, it's not the reality. It doesn't, just because you feel it doesn't mean it's all there is. It's really about being attached with your mind and your heart, and making a contract in a way between the two. So that's my little message. So it's like, you know, it's not always what you feel. And I also have like, there's some people in my life like that they're kind of cat-like. In other words, they appear and then they disappear, and then they come back like everything's fine. And everything is fine in their minds. I take it very personally, but it's not, different people react in different ways. There are some friends that are more like dogs and like always happy to see you and always ready, right? And then there are other friends who are sort of like, they're there and they're not there, and they're there and they're not there. Doesn't mean they're not your friends. Just means that that's as much as they are willing to give or able or whatever. And for them, it's normal and natural. So those are my two little, you know, I don't know how I'm going to put it into a message, but I'll figure it out. I always do. And the other thing is, I now offer you can do a one question reading. It'll be about 15 minutes. So you could do that, or a half-hour reading, or an hour reading. As well, I offer another type of reading, which is we do a reading together, about a half an hour, give or take. And then, we come up with a meditation that's specific for you, like I want to work on this, I want to release this, I want to, welcome in this. And I can guide you through a meditation that we would tape and you could utilize at other times, and then come up with like a little like affirmations or actions you can take in order to manifest. So those are the tarot services I offer. And Nancy and I are going to begin the tarot classes again. I don't think she's put it together on her site, and we do it through her site because that way there's one payment thing, and we know how many people are coming, and etc. So that's going to start on January 23rd. So if you're interested, let me know, or I'll forward it to you to Nancy, and we'll figure it out. And that it's just, I think we might switch to a 7-week course so we have more time to practice. And it's really intensive, and people have gotten a lot out of it and have built communities around it, practicing together. And it's really, a really wonderful tool to have in your toolkit. Um, because it's really a time to rely on your intuition more and more. And part of sometimes your intuition is not just relying on oneself, but see what's around you, observe and gather information and utilize it. So I spoke to my friend and he was like, yeah, you have a contract. And furthermore, he has a friend who's like good with the legalese. So it's like I can have him overlook it and, maybe write a thing. It's like, okay, well, I am looking for a new apartment, but, I'm not moving like because you want me to move, right? Because there are things that I've become accustomed to. Like I have to have outdoor space now. Like now that I have it, I ain't giving it up. So that is my story and my situation. But I have to tell you, I really went through it I really went through it. That night, I couldn't sleep, and I was all worried, and it's like, you know, I don't have to twist myself into a pretzel to make somebody else happy. Oh, and we'll give you, you don't have to pay um, rent for a month. Well, that's not going to do anything for me. If you would have told me, well, we want you to move out by the end of the month, and we'll give you 3 months rent or 4 months rent. Okay, well then there's more of a fire underneath me. But for a month's rent, you know, uh, but it's not that hard to find an apartment here, but it is, and it's still a pain. And I have, stuff to move, and I have that whole garden. So that's my situation. I'm going to go upstairs and paint today. And last night I went out for Dia de los Muertos. I know I'm talking forever, but I went out for de los Muertos in Coyoacan. Coyoacan is where Frida Kahlo lived. And it's part of the city, but at one time it was like its own city, village. And now it's part of it. But it's so beautiful down there. The houses are amazing. And there were so many people, and the costumes were incredible. And the energy was incredible. And we wanted to go to the cemetery, but the cemetery was closed. So my friend still has the ofreta, which is the offering table. And I put some stuff in my mother's there, so we're going to do a ritual today. The cemeteries were closed, which is fine. And because the energy, the veil is still thin. And my mediumship is coming up. So I did a little medium work last night. I just brought my cards, and the people that were around, I just did like 3 card readings, like little messages that they have from their mother, the grandmother, blah, 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 uncle. So that's what's going on. So my mediumship skills are developing further and further, just so you know. Anyway, that's my check-in. So just because you feel it, that's part of the information. It's not the whole story. It's not the whole story. Okay. Blessings. See you soon.